89 on up, homies, the show where you gon' get Cali history. It's told with respect and dignity. Spoken by jihad so vividly. He's taking over the industry, giving y'all some download imagery. Damn you, if you ain't hitting them likes, come on, subscribe. Check out the channel and I bet it will make you decide to tune in every chance you get. It's lit, and some of y'all can learn a bit from this gangster shit.
YouTube, what it do, loved ones? You know the motto, if you can, after the story's over there, hit us with a like, which is a thumbs up, and that'll let us know we kicking our stuff. I want to thank the homeboy GLD Deuce for the intro from the legendary Mental historical hip-hop album, Banging on Wax. You can reach him on Instagram at Solid from Day One. D, what it do?
Hey, what's up, T? What's up, loved one? You know, it's always a honor, man. You know, and I just feel so blessed, man, inside my purpose, man. Anytime I can give my time to you and give my time to the channel, man. So, yeah. So, what's on your mind today, bro?
Man, we got a classic good one. Couple of the young homies wanted to know what was a Northaniel and what was a Northaniel relationship like with a Damu in your time coming up in the system.
Okay, man, let me see, man. You know, my first experience, man, with the Northerners, right, was in San Quentin in 1983. I started to bid off in 1983 in Tehachapi. It was a level 2 yard, but it was all crip yard, right? And it was only like 6 or 7 Damus there. And I got rushed the same night that I was there, that I came. And that was like that was the first time I've been to the pen. It was on all 50 hard. So I got Rat Pack that night because of some rival gang members that was there, some shit that I did, and niggas was there, and they talked about, you know, they wanted to get a nigga, so they Rat Packed me and a few more other homies the same night. I put my bedroll up. So anyway, man, I end up, they thought I was gonna roll it up, and I told the police put me back on the yard. You know what I'm saying? They took, they handcuffed all of us and shit, took it to the office. I said, man, send me back to the yard, man. I ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because them niggas that did that, I need that, my nigga. You know, so, and I was just highly active. And I'm gonna make, okay, the reason I tell you this, because I need to tell you what sent me to San Quentin. You know, so it was only like, so after that happened, you know, niggas was calling us out like, you know, every other day we had to take phase. It wasn't but 7, 8 of us there. You know, most Damus that came on that yard, you know, rolled it up, my nigga, or wouldn't come on the yard when they get on the bus and they see all the Crips, you know, when you get off the bus, my nigga, you know, it'd be like a gang of niggas, man, you know, looking at who coming off the bus, barn, niggas bang on you when you got your bed going. A lot of niggas, man, just said, no, I'm not going out there. You know, a lot of niggas wouldn't even come on the line, my nigga. You know, and then when they did come on the line, they seen what time it was, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you wake up one morning, them niggas, 2, 3 niggas gone. You know what I'm saying? So it took a certain level of heart still in their guard. You know what I'm saying? And so niggas just had to fight, you know what I'm saying, for their respect. So you know what I'm saying, we did a whole lot of squabbling, and then niggas finally gave us our respect. Till one day, some niggas came from another pen, told niggas, man, you gotta get these niggas off the yard, and we wasn't going for it. They said we had to put up our flags, so we wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? We told them niggas, you can take the flags, you can keep them. And so we all hit the yard one night. There ain't nothing 9 of us, my nigga. 9 of us against like 65, 70 Crips. Anyway, so yeah, man. And I just told my homies, man, I said, listen, man, we just gonna all leave this motherfucker tonight. We all gonna leave at one time. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, man, niggas came up on us, man. Niggas crossed the line. We had a line crossing the dirt. I said, you niggas cross that line in that dirt, my nigga, I'm gonna get off first. We was all strapped up with welding rods. All of us had welding rods. All of us had knives, my nigga. It's 50 niggas, 60 niggas. It's about 300 of them niggas on the yard, bro. So whoever these niggas was came to trace my nigga. I guess they came with some rank and told the Crips there, man, y'all gotta get these niggas up. They got to leave. Well, anyway, so they crossed the line and went to war. We went to war, man. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas had some knives too, man. A couple of us got hit. A lot of us were suited for the occasion, though. Yeah, extra jackets, especially. You know what I'm saying? The gunman got to busting. We was chasing niggas. A lot of them niggas ran. Some of them niggas didn't. You know what I'm saying? We just went to war. And we all left that night, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? We all left that night. They sent us back to court. They gave us, because they gave us all attempted murders. You know what I'm saying? And they sent us back to Bakersfield Court, Tehachapi. When they sent us back, we all got 7 more years. They sent us back to Tehachapi. And then Tehachapi, we was in the hole, so they transferred all of us out. Some of us went to San Quentin, and some of us went to Folsom. So I ended up in San Quentin, and that's when I got my first experience with the relationship between the Damus and the North Bangers. And yeah, man, so when they sent us to San Quentin, they sent us to the SHU program, Security Housing Unit. That's the home. I had to do 4 years in the home, man. For that stuff that came. I got transferred. I had to. When you go to the SHU program, it's a certain type of program, man. You got to do 11 months on the yard with your own kind, just the Damus and BGS, you know what I'm saying? And then once you do like 12, 13 months on that yard, disciplinary free, you go to max B. Sometimes, dudes be getting into it all the time, they're power tripping on the yards they own, right? So a lot of them, they, have extended stays. A lot of them cats be on the yards, you know what I'm saying, years and years and years before, you gotta be clean 13, 14 months. And when they send me to an integrated yard after 13 months, and so they send you to another section of San Quentin, right? But you're still in the home, but it's called Max B. You go from Max A to Max B. It's a step down. So going to an integrated environment in the home, you're not on the yard with just your own. You're around Mexicans, blacks, whites. Yeah. But in the home, my nigga, that's where, on these integrated yards, that's where the war is, my nigga. So motherfuckers get stabbed on the yard every day. You know what I'm saying? The Southern Mexicans, man, you know what I'm saying, have war with the blacks. They're taking off on the blacks. The Northern Mexicans have war with the Southern Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? You got the BGF on the yard. You got vanguards on the yard. You got all these white supremacy groups on the yard. You know what I'm saying? It just depended on what fault was going on at that particular time, because it was always fault. I mean, you woke up in the morning, you had to make knives, take knives to the yard. You know? So I happen to be next door to two North Daniels. Now, I don't know why. I don't know how the relationship started, or why the northern familiar. We're talking about the NFs and the North Daniels. The North Daniel structure and the North Daniel, the NF, the Northern Familiar, is just like the Mexican line, the Southerners, right? So Northerners, even if they're not inducted into the NFs, they're an extension of the NFs. The Northerners have a structure, an organization of their own, you know what I'm saying? So I was in between. I was in between two of them. And so, yeah, man, they greeted me, man. They talked to me. They gave me books to read. You know, I don't know. I can't tell you exactly why the relationship between the Damus and the Northern Mexicans exists. All I can tell you is that it existed when I was there. And I don't know if it's because there has to be something more than we represent the same color flag. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. The Southern Mexicans are stronger allies with the Crips, dog. You know, the Southern Mexicans are stronger allies with the Crips. Even though it's a black and more Mexican, Southern Mexicans and the white, you know, the Northern Mexicans, bro, they just had, I don't know, they just embraced Damus, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of Crips know a lot of Mexicans. Now, at that particular time, you had a lot of Southern Mexicans and blacks. It was a war going on. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I mean, because they're the same dudes. The Southern Mexicans were the same dudes that was stacking the blacks to period. Whether it was blood or Crip, it didn't matter. But all I'm saying is that, you know, the Crips didn't have the relationship. They didn't have the relationship going like the Damus had with the Northerners. I don't know the beginning of that. I can't tell you the basis of it. All I can tell you is it was in place when I got there. And so yeah, man, it's like, them dudes, I mean, the Northern Mexicans, they would never like, as far as they go, man, I mean, they taught me a lot, taught me how to make weapons. They real, Northern Mexicans, bro, North Indians, they've always been up against it because they've always been in small groups. There's never been a lot of them, you know. So they always been up against the war between the Southern Mexicans and the North Indians. North Indians have always been short. That's why they're so vicious and they're so aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And then their structure is a real discipline. Like I said, you know, the tone was already set when I got there. And when I got there, I was Northern essay to North Daniel, two North Daniels on each side of me. So I know when I showed up, I was only 19, bro, at that particular time. And, you know, those North Daniels, bro, they showed me nothing but love, man. They helped educate me. You know, they shot me literature, books. You know, don't get me wrong, you know, the brothers shot me a lot of literature, a lot of books, especially the BTS, man. You know, they was on tier 2. You know, they sent me a lot of literature. They introduced me to studying, you know what I'm saying, studying nationalism, communism. I got into studying political science. I got introduced to political science. I got introduced to a lot of different things, man, of world, a lot of politics of the world. And I got introduced, to my real heritage. There was a lot of things I didn't know about my history, until the BGS introduced a lot of education, a lot of literature, a lot of books, man. They had me doing book reports. I studied about, I didn't know nothing about Marcus Garvey, back then. I didn't know nothing about W.D. Du Bois, And back then, Nelson Mandela in the apartheid, conflict was going on there. So, like I said, they helped educate me. BGS, they would hold classes on yards, and test you, book reports, But also the North Daniels, they helped educate me too, man, just by sharing literature with me. And they helped, and they showed me how to make all kind of weapons, and just man, they helped me learn stuff, man, taught me stuff, and so, when you come into a relationship with another nationality, like I had my experience with the North Daniels that was on each side of me, that type of relationship that you build with them, it establishes respect and it gives birth to love, And I mean, they'll never get into the North Daniels. They'll never get into our fault that we got with somebody else. But let's say, man, we got in the fault with some Southern Mexicans, the Northern Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? If they got a relationship with you, man, depending on, they'll help supply you with weapon material. You know what I'm saying? So if you up against it, you know what I'm saying? That's as far as they was allowed to go. But so yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I know I ended up in places after that, long after that, years after that, I ended up going back to prison, and I ended up in places there where I was up against it. Me and some other homies was up against a gang of Crips, and they was gonna attack us, man. You know what I'm saying? If we didn't have all we had was locks in the South. And I seen one of the North Daniels I was in San Quentin with. You know what I'm saying? And he came over here, man. I told him the time was. He said, man, don't trip, man. I got you. He said, meet me on the other side of the yard. And he came. When I met him on the other side of the yard, he gave me 3 knives. And I was so proud. I was so glad to have something to fight with. You know what I'm saying? But I was more grateful because that was a relationship I had built with someone, right? That they seen, what time it was. They seen we was up against it. There wasn't many of us, man. It was only like 3 or 4 of us, bro. You about 30 niggas talking about taking off on us, man. So I was grateful for the assistance and for the help and for the support, So that's my experience with North Daniel. That was the relationship they had with me, as well as they used to, they was allies with the Damus, man. You know what I'm saying? They was allies, bro. They was our allies, bro. Until later on, I heard something took place, man, to break that ally, thing. So, but that was years later. All I can tell you is from 1983 to 1988, man, this is the type of this is where everything was at for us, Don moves, and the North Daniels. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was, you know, it was a real respectful thing, but they, you know, they gravitated towards us, man. They liked us, man. You know, and they, you know, and they fucked with us only on certain grounds. You know, it's not like they would get into our business. But you best believe if we was up against it, like the Southern Mexicans was gonna try to attack us and try to kill one of us or something. We needed some weapon stock or something. They would provide it for us. They would assist us, man. But only in that way. You know what I'm saying? Only in that way. They wasn't allowed to go no further. But, you know, like I say, man, I've developed a lot of personal relationships with those things, man. They're real good people, and, you know, they come up like the Damus come up. They come up against it, man. It was never a whole lot of them, bro. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is why they're so aggressive. You know, it take a whole lot of heart. It take a whole lot of heart to be a North Indian, bro. To be active in the North Indian structure against the Southerners, bro. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, I've seen Southerners dominate a yard. There've been only 6 or 7 Northerners. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't bully them. They respected them. You know what I'm saying? Because they would go to the yard. They didn't mow it up, and they was willing to die for if anything. You know, North Indians is ready to die for what they represent, bro. What they stand for. And these dudes is, you know, and I've been other places where I've seen Southerners and Northerners kill each other in the day room, you know, in the high desert, you know, so, I mean, but that, I mean, when I was like, we was into actual max in 2004, it was only like 4 or 5 Norteños on the yard, but the Southern nations dominated the yard, but they didn't bully them, they didn't try to take advantage of them, they didn't rush them or nothing, but they knew that 5 or 6, those 5 or 6 Norteños, they were soldiers, you know what I'm saying, and they wasn't, you know, you had to kill them to get them out, or try to kill them to remove them off the yard, because they wasn't going on there. And, you know, everybody has a way of your intelligence check. You know what I'm saying? It's a way for all of us to know, you know, to get an intelligence report, you know what I'm saying, to get an intelligence check, that to find out who these cats are, what kind of cats these are, what their pedigree is, their history are. You know, we all have those resources in different avenues, you know, some cats pull up, man. You know what I'm saying? I got people, man, that I can go to, reliable sources, to tell me all about who this dude is, you know, what he's capable of, and this whole pedigree. The dudes knew who they was dealing with. Not that they feared them, but if they just knew that that was a force to be reckoned with, you know, not that they was afraid of them, because it was all Southern yard, bro. Ain't nobody stopped no 30 motherfuckers coming at you with knives. They could have smashed them if they want to, but they didn't. But the Norteños carried themselves with respect, and they respected them. And the Southerners didn't act as bullies. They didn't try to take advantage of them or nothing, man. Because, you know, these dudes carried themselves, man, in a real soldier way, in a real respectful way. That's a long way, man. So that's my experience with the North Indians. You know?
On up, homies, the show where you gon' get Cali history. It's told with respect and dignity. Spoken by jihad so vividly. He's taking over the industry, giving y'all some download imagery. Damn you, if you ain't hitting them likes, come on, subscribe. Check out the channel and I bet it will make you decide to tune in every chance you get. It's lit, and some of y'all can learn a bit from this gangster.